Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back to Stars Align Universe. Today's podcast episode is going to be a Pluto all signs reading. So, please remember that this reading is for entertainment purposes only. It may or may not resonate. Take what resonates, leave the rest for another person to claim. Since we're going with Scorpio, the last reading, I'm going to use Pluto because we already used Mars. So I'm going to use Pluto, okay? And we're just kind of going to go from there. New beginnings, kind of like the October thing. Let's just kind of get into this. Let's see what we have for Pluto, okay? What is it for Pluto we're going to have? What is the information from Pluto? Because it's new beginnings, I'm actually going to use this tarot deck right here, or oracle deck, or whatever you want to call it. It's kind of a healing deck, so I kind of want to use it, and let's see what kind of information we can get from it, okay? So if that's something you're interested in, obviously stay tuned. If you're listening to me on audio, please consider following my podcast. If you're here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. That would be greatly appreciated. And yeah, I also have a link in the description box below if you're here on YouTube, where you can follow to my Ko-Fi. You can become a member and get additional readings, like you can purchase readings at a discount, and you can also get access to additional podcast episodes, tarot readings, and like Ko-Fi only readings and all that kind of good stuff. They will be posted by the end of the month here, just so you know. And then I hope to regularly have them updated on that each month. And I'll probably change some stuff next year, but this is my kind of goals here. So if that's something you're interested, of course. But if not, I just consider I'm very considered grateful for your consideration to watch this. Man, that was really hard to get out. I don't know why. All right. So, as always, we cleanse the cards, the energy in the space. We cleanse the cards, the energy in the space. We cleanse the cards, the energy in the space. We cleanse the cards, the energy in the space. Spirit guide, guardian angels, ancestors, I ask for you to join us today in this reading for all signs Aries to Pisces. Okay, all signs Aries to Pisces. What do we have to know? What do we have to see? What do we have to hear for kind of like new beginnings and endings, but also their Pluto placement? Okay, I don't know if anybody's actually alive for most of these placements, but I'm still gonna do the reading just in case. I know Pluto, I believe, is a very slow moving planet, if I'm correct. So kind of it's a surprise, we'll see. So starting with Aries, what do we have for Aries? What is the information they need to know regarding their Pluto placement? So Aries, you have mortars and pestle in reverse, sage and sow. So this is telling me here integration. Okay, so some of you may be a little bit lacking of new beginning energy. With the sage, you have wisdom, purification, and harmony. I am seeing for many of you definitely willing to seek new wisdom, though, and so is planning, setting intentions, and optimism. So many of you are working on new beginnings, all right, but I do see a little bit of issues on how you're going to like integrate your new beginnings with like your current way of life kind of situation. So Taurus, what do we have for you for Pluto? We have the basil in reverse, the walking staff in reverse, and the altar. So Taurus, that is prosperity, luck, and love. Some of you may not be feeling very luck right now, all right? Then you have the walking staff, which is support and encouragement, and that was in reverse as well. So you may be lacking support and encouragement. And then the altar is gratitude and releasing burdens. So some of you, I feel like you may have been walking away from some family or something, and that's where you're lacking that support. But I do see that you are divinely like protected, and you will have the support. Kind of who's meant for you won't pass by you, all right? Gemini and Pluto, what do we have for you? You have winter, you have mushroom in reverse, and then you have walking staff. So Gemini, you have an ending, recharging, and reflection. Okay, so that kind of aligns with Pluto. Then you have mushroom in reverse. So recycling, breaking down problems. I see many of you kind of honing in on your problems here. And walking staff support and encouragement, but you do have support and encouragement from people around you. Okay, what do we have for Cancer here? Okay, Cancer, you have basil, prosperity, okay, trunk, and then you have the spring in reverse. So, Cancer, you have prosperity, luck, and love. With the trunk, you have stability, loyalty, and reliability. And then the spring in reverse is rebuilding, awakening, and rebirth. So, some of you are definitely working on more your love, your luck, your prosperity, and kind of creating that stability for yourself. And not really like in a awakening type of moment right now. All right. Some of you might be focused more on the other versus kind of reconnecting with self, is kind of what I'm getting here. So, what do we have for our Leo friends in the sign or the placement of Pluto, please? Leo, you have bird, salt in reverse, and pine tree in reverse. So bird is freedom and opportunity. Okay. Salt is protection, banishing negativity. So some of you may actually be feeling a little bit negative right now. And then pine tree is vitality, longevity, and preservance. So some of you may be feeling kind of old and run down and a little bit of complicated. Okay. But you do have opportunities and freedom. Some of you may feel free in your age, whatever your age is, okay? Moving on to Virgo. What do we have for our Virgo lovely friends here, please? Okay. Virgo, you have the winter card, the lavender card, and then the earthworm in reverse. So, Virgo, you have an ending, recharging, and reflection. Lavender, tranquility, kindness, and self care. And then the earthworm in reverse, clarity and rumination. So many of you are endings and beginnings. I see it more as working on that self-care, right? You may be lacking clarity on something, but I do see you kind of not giving a crap about that at that moment because you're more focused on your self-care. So Libra, what do we have for you? We have the mushroom, Sal, and we have leaves. So Libra, you have the mushroom in reverse, and that is recycling, breaking down problems. So many of you might be facing issues right now. With Sao, it's planning, setting intentions, and optimism. But I do see you making it through those, okay? And then leaves, you have renewal, revival, and progress. So I definitely see you having new beginnings here, okay, Libra? What do we have for the Scorpio? Sorry. Scorpio, okay. Scorpio, you have the butterfly in reverse, okay? You have the rain in reverse, and then you have rosemary in reverse. So, Scorpios, what are you feeling like right now? Transformation, joy, beauty, and transience. So, you might be lacking that a little bit, feeling a little bit down and out on something, okay? The rain is cleansing, purification, hydration in reverse. So, some of you need to drink some water, which is something you're not doing. And the rosemary's remembrance, loyalty, and faithfulness. So some of you may be loyal to people to a fault and people aren't as loyal to you. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing. Some of you need to be loyal to yourself. Okay. Sagittarius, what do we have for you, please, in your Pluto placement? All right. Sagittarius, we have mint in reverse, hedge in reverse, and we have earth. So Sagittarius, this one's kind of interesting. You have the abundance, persistence, and proliferation in reverse. So many of you may not be feeling very abundant in the moment. You have hedge in reverse, and that is potential boundaries and indecision, and a little bit of decisions that you have to make, okay? And then with the earth, peace, grounding, and finding peace within your decision that you make, okay? Um, Sagittarius, what do we have for you, Sagittarius, please? What do we have for Sagittarius and Pluto? All right. Sagittarius and Pluto, you have the summer in reverse, the earthworm and the lavender in reverse. So, what I see for you, Sagittarius, is you have expansion and growth in reverse. So, a little bit of lack of expansion. Okay. You have clarity, though, and rumination. And then with the lavender reverse, tranquility, kindness, self care. So, some of you are lacking a little bit of tranquility or peace or self-care, just kind of like that moment to yourself. And this is telling you maybe sometimes you need to take a moment out for yourself to regenerate. All right. Capricorn, what do you have? Capricorn, you have the roots in reverse. You have tend, and then you have preserve. Okay, so roots in reverse, Capricorn, is healthy patterns, early growth. So that's in reverse. So some of you may just be starting something new, okay, on a new pathway. Tend, maintenance, encouragement, guidance. So this is definitely telling you to keep working on whatever it is that you just started. And preserve, security, forethought, thrift. So I do see some of you maybe needing to be a little thrifty, but also if you're starting something new, I'm kind of getting like, if you have to spend money, make sure that it makes sense kind of situation. Okay. That is Aquarius next. Okay. Aquarius, what do we have for Aquarius? Okay. Aquarius, you have spring in reverse, soil, and the pine tree in reverse. So what I see here for you is rebuilding, awakening, and rebirth. Okay. That's not happening in the reversal here. Some of you, Aquarius, I do see you not necessarily like rebuilding anything with this Pluto placement. I do see you working on something but not rebuilding. Okay, soil stability and simplicity, and it might just be maybe you need to take you're in a direction and it's kind of like keep going in that direction. With the pine tree in reverse is vitality, longevity, and preservance. So I do see though the direction you're taking may not last forever, and you may have to have a moment of clarity where you figure out what it is you actually want to do here. Okay. And then Pisces, what do we have for Pisces, please? What do we have for Pisces, please? What do we have for Pisces, please? Okay. Pisces, what do we have for Pluto placements in Pisces? You have the roots in reverse, you have the earth, and then you have the hedge in reverse. So Pisces, you have healthy patterns, early growth. So that's in reverse. So some of you may need to address some unhealthy patterns. Okay. Earth is peace and grounding, finding grounding in that, right? And understanding for yourself. Hedge in reverse is potential boundaries and indecision. So some of you lack boundaries and need to make decisions. Okay. What do we have though for the let's go fire, earth, air, water. Sure, why not? Let's do the fire signs. What do we have for the fire signs? Just in general, what is the fire signs for the Pluto placements? What do they need to know? What do they need to see? What do they need to hear? Okay, what is it for our fire signs friends in the Pluto placement? Fire signs, you have bird in reverse, you have mint in reverse, and then you have moon. So many of you with the bird in reverse is freedom and opportunity. You're lacking freedom. Okay. I just heard freedom in like choices of creativity. Okay. Mint, abundance, persistent proliferation in reverse. So some of you are feeling a lack of abundance as well. And then with the moon, phases, cycles, intuition. However, remember that Pluto placement is a very like psychic kind of placement. So I do see you having like visions of what you can do to change fire signs. All right. Earth signs. What do you have for your Pluto placement, my earth sign friends? Let's see what you have for your Pluto placement, my earth sign friends. What do you have for Pluto placements, my earth sign friends? What do you have for Pluto placements, my earth sign friends? What do you have for Pluto? All right. Earth signs. You have this is a new one, carnelian. Then you have the moon, and then you have the walking staff. So energy, leadership, creativity. Moon is phases, cycles, intuition, and then walking staff is support and encouragement. So for many of you, I do see you having the ability to have like a leadership and creative role with some kind of like vision of intuition that shows you something beautiful you can make. And then you will gain that, like you could have much support and encouragement from a community around you. All right. Air signs. What do we have for the air signs in Pluto placement? The air signs with the Pluto placement, please. What is it with the air signs with the Pluto placement? I heard something about like flowing like a river. Okay. So air signs in the Pluto placement. I do see you having spring in reverse, watering can, and then butterfly in reverse. So what do we have here is rebuilding, awakening, and rebirth. So definitely many of you are not doing this. You're working on something, okay? Um, Watering can, asking for help, sharing burdens. So some of you may need to ask for help in something that you're doing, okay? And butterfly, transformation, joy, beauty, and transience. Some of you are really struggling with some kind of transformation in your life or seeing the transformation of something that you're doing, creating, seeing, whatever. Okay. Water signs in the Pluto placement. What is it for the water signs in the Pluto placement, please? Ooh, jumping. What is it for the water signs in the Pluto placement, please? What is it for the water signs in the Pluto placement, please? Okay, water signs, you have the Hearth in reverse, Fog in reverse, and Massa Gate in reverse. Okay, so water signs, you have safety, comfort, and spiritual connection in reverse. So many of you may not feel very connected spiritually, or you may have blockages. Okay, fog is obscurity and feeling lost. So some of you definitely don't feel lost. You may feel disconnected, but not lost. And then you have Mossagate, positivity, change. So some of you may be in a little bit of negative kind of energy right now. All right. Um, Overall, let's see what the collective energy, fire, earth, air, water, Aries to Pisces, everybody, collective energy, please. What is the collective energy of all the elements, everybody in the world? What is the collective energy for the Pluto planet placement in the birth chart, please? Let's get that information. I heard one more. All right, what's that information, please? Okay, so Pluto placement for everybody. That's interesting. Okay, we have the soil in reverse, fog, and fruit in reverse. So this is saying that stability and simplicity. Many of us are lacking that like simple life or stability. We're fearing that we don't have stability. Fog is we all kind of feel a little bit lost, even though we may not all feel completely lost. Sometimes we feel lost, okay? And then with fruit, we have achievement and success on the horizons. Just everybody's will be at different time frames, obviously, right? You always have the opportunity to achieve and to kind of see your achievements at some point, right? So once again, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you as always watching the Stars Align Universe podcast. And if you're here on YouTube, please leave a comment. And thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. And I hope you have a lovely, wonderful, fantastic day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you again one day soon. Goodbye.